You just got to stay curious and figure out this thing that you are. If you have still yet to find it, try something different. Or, because for me, it was my attitude. Coaches kept telling me and I never listened. That's what that was. Your attitude. You got to change your attitude. How you out, man?
Change your attitude.
Right. Welcome to As a Man Readeth.
I'm Trey.
And I'm Goofy.
And we are reading today The 50th Law by Robert Greene and 50 Cent. I think you all enjoy this book. This is a favorite of ours.
Oh, howdy. It's your first ounce. You know, for it, like, it's, I guess I should be upside down. All right, man, keep on side my bad.
You get in here. All right.
Radio version.
Hey, man, by the way, radio versions are not radio version when we have.
Man.
Nowadays. They are saying everything.
You booted like some groceries.
Oh, man, I didn't even know that.
You just blank out the
booty. No. Booty Baker was saying the other day. Booty. I'm sorry, y'all. That's going to that's somebody edit this out. Don't clip this. This is not good. Let's talk about it, man. What's the start of this book is pretty cool. It's a lot on fearlessness.
Correct. Come on.
Being courageous, being brave. And I think that is something that a lot of folks are dealing with. This is really why we chose this.
Right.
Because there's so many of us there's so many people that we know, that we experience, that we are connected to, even ourselves, that are dealing with fear in some particular capacity. So that is a dope book we better pay attention to.
Right. And then the combination of Robert Greene with the 48 Laws of Power. He the 33 strategies.
Yeah.
But he writes a lot of big research laden style books.
Seduction. It's Robert Greene. Yeah. Art Seduction. It's Robert Greene. Another good one. We may read that one.
Right.
That was dope. I'm gonna tell you right there.
Really good.
You want to be a charmer, boy? It's good.
I remember I had that book.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So Robert Greene, suburban. I would consider him like a suburbanite type individual. I don't know his true background, but I do know from the outset of just looking at him, you would not expect someone like him to be with someone like 50 Cent. And just that, them linking up is almost more proof for the reason for this book.
True.
Because nobody else is in that type of lane. 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Well, 50 actually started the lane.
That's true. He approached Robert,
yes,
as Robert states in the book.
Yeah, because now Gucci Mane got a book. I think some other rappers, Ludacris, I believe, has a book. What I'm saying is, he started to me that trend because I can't think of anyone where I was like, oh, well, let me go read this book about strategy specifically too.
Yeah,
because this point,
from an entertainer, right? So I would say Harry Belafonte's book, Sidney Poitier's Conversation, one of his books.
Yep.
He really talks about how he moved. There's not a lot of entertainers that I personally like. I did read the Will Smith book, of course.
Yeah, I listened to that.
Which was opening.
Hey man, what it did for me was recognize that he was human.
Absolutely. It definitely rehumanized.
Right.
Not dehumanized, rehumanized him for us. It told that story. It was so crazy because everything was just building up to these moments, and then, and the book is coming out, and he's already exposing himself and what went on in the book. And I remember I had it pre-order. He was like, "You're writing the book, y'all." And I was like, "Okay, let's see what he's about to do." This is right around the time when he jumped out of the helicopter. And he's like, "You just gotta jump. You just gotta jump.
Gotta do it.
You just gotta jump." It's like, hey, you're right. You gotta jump. So all the stories about folks being really fearless, or fearing less, as I like to say, can be really powerful for me. So I love this piece that we got.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. The book starts off speaking of fear, and I want to just open up to how it opens, so you kind of get. Well, actually, it starts with the introduction.
Yeah.
It says, "So over you is the greatest enemy a man can have, and that is fear. I know some of you are afraid to listen to the truth. You've been raised on fear and lies, but I am going to preach to you the truth until you are free of that fear. Malcolm X.
Yep.
So just like any great album, that's the boom. Walking into the introduction, like, okay.
Did y'all hear his Malcolm X impression? It was slight. It was right at, oh yeah, that was slight. It was right at the end. Y'all missed it. If you missed it, catch rewind it back. Tell them how good he was. All right, keep going.
Yeah. All right. So he talks about the fear that is pretty much programmed into us at a very young age, and then we stay in that fear, and we cycle through it. So it becomes this thing where this is the way it is, this is the way it's always been, so this is the way we will continue to do it. And you stay in that cycle. And even when someone attempts to break you out of that, you almost fight for that limitation.
For sure. Where the feeling becomes fat more so as you move through the program, right? So
it does.
Like the feeling that you've had now is like, this is the way I'm supposed to feel. It becomes fat. This is the fear that is not actually, it's a real feeling. But it's not centered in what reality is because it's always projected in the future. It's not right now.
Right.
It becomes fact to you, and then you stay in that programming. It's kind of crazy to think about.
How do we choose to look at reality?
Okay. Well,
that's what 50's coming from. They're coming from a place of realism.
Yeah.
From intense realism is what they call it. And the way go about defining what a realist is, it's based in what is in reality. This is those are blue pants. He has on a shirt.
Yep.
I have no feelings toward these, but I see these things.
I just realized they match.
That's good.
That was not intentional.
That's actually really good because that blue is pretty.
It's pretty straightforward.
Strong. You're right.
We are Braves fans here.
Yeah. We headed to the game.
Big one.
Yeah. So where did we leave? Oh, yeah. So we're talking about the intense realism. You having to be able to recognize what you see in front of you for what it is, and not allowing your feelings to cloud. What it is you see.
He starts off in the conversation about like how fear is like grabbed us and pulled us out of reality sometimes. And he talks about how it goes back to that programming that we talked about. Well, he says, with the increased, let's do this part. An animal cannot let go. An animal that cannot let go of its fears, once a threat is gone, will find it hard to eat and sleep. We are the only animal that cannot get rid of its fears when so many of them lay inside of us. These fears tend to color how we view the world. We shift from feeling fear of some threat to having a fearful attitude toward life itself. We come to see almost every event in terms of risk. We exaggerate the dangers and our own vulnerability. We instantly focus on the adversity that is always possible. Does that sound like people? Definitely sounds like people. Where we hold on to it. But it's that part in there where we evaluate it in terms of risk.
Right.
Everything.
Yeah.
And I can see how people that are plagued by fear, it's always like, it's too risky.
Right.
What if?
Just to keep that little bit of what you protecting.
I don't know if I should.
Yeah.
Should we go? Did you get? I don't know, man. It's so much, and it can be small things,
right?
But those small, in the other way, I think it feels like the small things can actually just continue to bring your courage down more and more. When you're scared of small things, it's not going to allow you. On the counter of that,
right?
You can be brave in small spaces and small times.
Yeah.
Then I think you can build up that fearlessness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Totally agree with that. I'm going to read another quote.
Yeah.
The hustler's eye.
They said, all right, let's do it.
This is life. New and strange. Strange because we fear it. New because we have kept our eyes turned from it. Men are men and liars is life.
Yeah.
We must deal with them as they are.
As they are.
And if we want to change them, we must deal with them in the form in which they exist. Richard Wright.
I wonder why every time I sound like an Englishman, it's my jaw and lip goes like this. I don't know.
Okay, there was this.
Okay.
In this chapter,
Yeah.
he started to talk about one of the because 50 was a dealer, and one of the OGs in his neighborhood by the name of Truth was breaking something down to him, and he was telling him that most of the dealers, when they lose their edge, is because their mind becomes soft.
Mm-hmm.
They think that what happened, like if they have a good run of things,
Mm-hmm.
then they expect that good run of things to happen all the time. And then when it doesn't happen, they wish it was something different.
Right. Right.
And at that point, there's nothing you can do with the wish in that sense, or at least the way I've interpreted it.
Yeah, not paying attention to the compass or not paying attention to the winds or when things are changing, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what I got from it in that space is, so even right there, it says, he said the greatest danger that we face is not police or some nasty rival, it's the mind going soft, like you were saying.
Right.
If things go well, he starts to think that we will go on forever, and it takes his eyes off the streets. Or it takes, we'll say take our eye off the ball. We lose grip of reality, and you might as well, kill yourself. But one of the things it says here, I think with that is just like things are going to be constantly changing. And if you're not in the change of that moment, then you're going to miss it. Cool. So, with the wind shift, and you still got the sails going the wrong way, you all of a sudden you're slowing down. Like, why? What? Oh, I didn't notice that the wind shift.
Right.
You're not paying attention. You're not staying you're not being attentive. That's the way.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to walk you into the quote by Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
Know the other, know yourself, and the victory will not be at risk. Know the ground, know the natural conditions, and the victory will be total. So in that, being aware of the people around you, or in their circumstances, knowing the other, knowing yourself, victory is pretty much almost complete. When you understand everything around you, then it is definitely complete, is what he says.
Yeah.
So that could apply to you in all types of ways in your life right now.
Yeah.
It's almost like when a friend of yours does something and you're like, why would you do that? Like it's one of those things where you trying to think of something when I was a kid. Wow. So I won't front on my brother, he front myself out. I snuck out of the house at one particular point in time. And my brother found out. I didn't get caught. But he was like, why would you do that? Because if I get caught and get in trouble, that's your ass, Mr. Postman.
Yeah.
It's that energy.
Yeah.
So, but people do this, I think, in life in general. There's certain things that they're doing that they probably shouldn't be. Versus doing the things, use that energy towards something that you want as well. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Definitely makes sense. Yeah, I love. There's a highlight here that I have to talk about. Where you at?
I'm right there.
You right there?
Yeah. Let me see where you.
Wow, I'm going up here. Reality came to be seen as something to avoid. It says secretly and slowly we develop a taste for escape. It says our culture began to manufacture endless fantasies for us to consume, and fed us. And fed on such illusions, we became easier to deceive. Since we no longer have the mental barometers for distinguishing fact from fiction. Presence, out. This is not here. Presence. Yeah,
man. That's
what you got. What's the quote down there?
And then we'll go down to understand. As an individual, you cannot stop the tide of fantasy and escapism sweeping a culture, but you can stand as an individual bulwark to this trend and create power for yourself.
I like that.
And that's what I appreciate, is that you can see the tide, you can see everybody moving in a particular position, but your space is unencumbered because you occupy it.
You don't have to move with that, you don't have to move with the tide. You don't have to move with what the culture says,
Mm-hmm.
right? We do a lot of that. We talk about like how this is what the culture is. Right. So
It's like apologizing, like we were just doing. Saying, not that there's anything wrong with that.
right. Right. Mm-hmm.
Or stop bringing that into his existence. Because you know why people do it? Is to defend the thing that they think is going to happen.
Yeah.
But instead create it.
Yeah, you create.
That's the end.
That's dope.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing you're trying not to create, you put out and you start to create it then. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy all day.
All day.
Yeah.
All day.
But that connects to like self-reliance as well, right?
Yes.
You know, and self-sovereignty and how we move in that. And he talks a lot about why how important it is for self-reliance and why we need to focus on that.
Yep. He does.
Oh, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, I was gonna jump straight into it. It says, I like this because make everything your own, self-reliance, right? When you work, well, let me do something else. When you work for others, you are at their mercy. They own your work, they own you. Your creative spirit is squashed. What keeps you in such positions is a fear of having to sink or swim on your own. Instead, you should have a greater fear of what will happen to you if you remain dependent on others for power. Your goal in every maneuver in life must be ownership. Work in the corner for yourself when it is yours to lose. You are more motivated, more creative, more alive. The ultimate power in life is to be completely self-reliant, completely yourself. And then they ran in Frederick Douglass saying, human nature is so constituted that it cannot honor a helpless man, although it can pity him. And even this, it cannot do long if the signs of power do not arrive. No, Fred.
Come on. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, but you talk a little more about self-reliance. Why is that so important from you and your space? What do you think about that?
Well, self-reliance gives you a dog in the fight, if you will. When you have, because if you are reliant upon self, you are now putting yourself in positions to grow. It's inevitable, for you to grow when you rely upon self. If action is put in some type of place, they say a clock is right twice a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A broken clock. So I'm just saying, as a human being, if you allow yourself to make just start off with a choice a day. Just, I'm going to do this one thing every day. You can then build upon that.
Yeah.
I mean, come self-reliance.
Yeah.
I mean,
it makes sense. I think you gotta, that one thing a day is, but every time you do that one thing, you get to go back and look at it and say, I did that thing. Right. So that's where, so always start to look at the connection between being reliant on self and self-confidence. Right. That trusting in my own ability is based upon also what I have relied upon within my own ability. Right. That makes sense, right? So I always see those connections, and I think we can build that self-reliance knowing that we can count on ourselves. Right. We can be confident in ourselves. You know, it helps to build more. And going back again, that whole thread there, I think it can go to, that's where the courage and the fearlessness comes in. We already know that we can do this, so we got a threshold for this stuff.
Right.
We know we can live.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody the other day. How did you know you were strong? Did you know? How you know you're strong?
And you lift something that you deem heavy. I mean, physically strong.
Yeah. Physically strong. You only know when you're physically strong until you pick up something that's heavy.
Right.
So until your muscles are challenged, you don't know you're really strong. You can think about it. You can consider it. You may, I hope, but you don't really know you're really strong until you are challenged in some particular way.
Right. Engaged in that kind of way.
Yeah.
Which takes us to dependency. That's, to me, the opposite, I guess, of reliance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it would be relying without the self.
Right.
You just
And then
constantly,
others dependent, other reliant.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I think the society we're in can feel that way sometimes. When you are solely dependent on another entity to take care of you in whatever manner. So if my tire goes flat and I don't know how to change my tire or anything, I gotta wait for the tow truck to come, then to take it to the mechanic. I could do that. I could rely upon that if I chose. But guess what? I know how to change my tire and put a spare on. Yeah, let me take 30 minutes out of the time that I don't want to take flips. I know how to do that.
Yeah.
And so I feel that the majority of people would rather rely for whatever reason. You know what? No. Let's talk about what this is through. What they're saying is fear of whatever that thing is. Like, oh, I might hurt myself. I want to get out of the car. That's too much work. So.
But when you also rely, that other part is that when you're relying on others, you remove a lot of the risk from yourself.
The engagement that we were just talking about.
Yeah. So you put it on others. It's kind of like when people ask you for advice, or not necessarily ask you for advice. If anyone's a supervisor or manager, leader in some particular way, sometimes people ask you for, what they should do. I have a knack of like, what do you think we should do? Well, we don't know. But if you did know, what would you say? Or put yourself, or we'd really do an experiment. We actually 2 circles on the floor. You go here. This is a person that doesn't know. That person over there does know. What would that person say? Right? And it puts you in a different perceptual position. We're not going to do the science of it, but put yourself in a different position of perception so you could see and advise the person that doesn't know.
Right.
Because it gets you out of your own mind. Then you can actually put yourself in the third position where you're observing both people and you can advise the group. It's a really cool technique. It works every time. But that part is getting in folks who like, they don't want to be accountable. Because they fear that, the fear is the fear is the mistake. Like, I don't want to make a mistake.
So true.
So you fear the risk because you fear the mistake, but the risk is neutral. Really.
In reality,
In reality, it's like, the risk can also be, you have an opportunity. It may work.
Right.
But you focusing so much on, so many folks focus on the negative part.
And want to blame. So look, we both have an opportunity to choose the way we go. I'm like, hey, you can choose. And you like, all right. And then let's say we go the wrong way. Now I'm going to blame you. Right? That's the fear of why I didn't want to do it, because I don't want you blaming me. But again, it's coming from a place of, well, if we both want to go the right way, now we both should put our heads together, because I really want to go this way. You really want to go that way, but we're in the same car or whatever. We're in that position. That's a movie right there. Just so you know, it'll be a movie. Which way are we going? And we got to figure it out. Because we both want to be self-reliant. So that it's just one of those things.
Ooh, there's a concept in social psychology that talks about that too. I just thought about it. It's called the road to Abilene. The road to Abilene, and the scenario is basically simple. Basically, this family is going to Abilene. They don't know what Abilene, Texas, and everybody's in the car. The problem is nobody wanted to go. Right? But everyone got in the car because they thought somebody else wanted to go, and they didn't say anything. Right? So let's say we rolling, we about to go to Abilene.
Right?
We're gonna go to Alpharetta.
Okay.
We don't really want to go to Alpharetta right now because we know it's 4:00.
Right.
No, it's 5:00. We on the south side. We got to go to Alpharetta.
Yes.
You don't want to go.
Right.
But we're not saying anything because the risk is I don't want to get Goolsby upset. Goolsby don't want to get me upset because he think I'm trying to, agree with. He want me to make sure that I'm agreeing with him.
Right.
He don't want to create no tension.
Right.
Create any tension.
Right.
So to avoid the tension, we just go along with it. Then they get to Abilene and somebody says something finally, and it's like, Well, I only went because you said, well, I only go because you didn't say anything. So how much of that is actually happening sometimes on the other side because people are not willing to risk saying no,
Right.
saying yes,
Right.
saying what they really want, being confident in their own decisions, and not necessarily being swayed because the group is saying, or the culture is saying, go this way.
I just know how, like for me, I never want to feel stupid.
Yeah.
Like the word, like in that moment, it's like, I'm gonna look stupid if I say something. Hey, but I'll say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying that's all the time, but I'll say, like, if it's, I don't understand it. What are we doing? No, get it. Man, and because I remember this one time.
That's so easy though when you think about too hard.
I went to like a first thing. We were at a bar. I just happened to be the only black guy, so that's kind of playing in. And so there was a joke that was made, right?
Like,
There was a joke that was made, but I missed the joke. Like I missed it, so I asked my lady friend who was there. I said, so what did he say? And she's like, what? I was like, no, what did he say?
Yeah.
She's like, I don't think you heard it, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, and I started getting upset. And I'm like, I got all like, man, why y'all not telling me? I don't understand.
What's the dope, fam?
What's the joke? So, but it was just a weird. Oh, because when she ended up telling me what it was, I was just like, oh, she's like, that's what. Not that I didn't understand and it wasn't like a race joke or nothing like that. It was just like, something.
Yeah.
But I was all twisted because of something, because of the way I thought about it. I was going somewhere else with that. I don't know.
You don't know?
I forget. But it's something to do with what we were.
Well, the other part, I mean, so come on back.
Yeah, bring me back.
Well, I mean, the idea of having the, again, we were talking about the Abilene.
Right.
And, the other part of that is how much, my question was basically like how much of that's going on. Right. You know, like you're just going along with it because you're trying not to offend. You're going along with it because you're trying to avoid tension. You're trying to go along with it because you want them. That's going to put you in a different place. All of those are fear-based responses and actions and behavior, right? You're trying to avoid pain, discomfort, depth of relationship, whatever it may be, loneliness, whatever it may be. But it's the fear of those things that you're always trying to go through this process every day. Some of us go through the process every day of just trying to figure out how do we stay safe.
Right. Whereas I feel like talking about brave and safe again. So fearlessness helps with fearlessness, brave, to me, they're the same. I think fearlessness is the absence of fear, whereas I think with brave, you still may be a little scared, but you do it anyway.
Yeah, I think I look at it that way. I think it's the same way. I don't usually use fearlessness. I say fearlessness. Well, you've heard me say a lot.
All right.
But I think you need fear to be brave, to be courageous. Otherwise, it's kind of like the weight for your muscles. Right? You can't, the weight is 45 pounds of fear. Only way you know how strong you are, how courageous you are, is that you got to push that and lift that off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Now there's the other part where he talks about like adversity, like how we turn adversity into our own advantage and then thinking about it. Like using your self-reliance, using your courage, your fearlessness, and like stuff's gonna happen.
Right.
How do you turn that into your own power or your own advantage? So let's talk through that a little bit.
We're talking about the changing adversity.
Yeah.
What page are you on? Or
go wherever you want.
Let's see.
61 something.
Yeah, where you at?
That's fine. We can stay there. You want the max? Yeah. Max says, I am the owner of my might, and I am so when I know myself as unique. I am the owner of my might, and I am so when I know myself as unique. That is That is pretty powerful when you fully think about it. The tendency to move with the crowd is always dwindling your power. However, folks don't jump right there. The group, I'll do it this way. My mentor told me many years ago, right?
Mhm.
He's like, anytime you're with the majority, pause. Just for a moment.
Right.
Just pause. Because the majority doesn't necessarily always means the right way.
Right. I would agree. Or the aligned way.
Or the aligned way. Most of the time, people are in the middle. Majority is usually in the middle. It's not necessarily one way or the other. And sometimes when you are in the with the alignment, I'm sorry, not the alignment, but when you're in the majority, just pause for a moment. And so I think sometimes just, knowing that kind of helps. You find yourself that you're making your decisions. You are making the decision, and you can make decision with the group, but understanding that you're still making a decision for yourself too. Maybe even if you are, compromising, there's a resolution on one side or the other. You're giving up something. You're taking something in. Yeah,
certain rules and regulations that are given. So I just saw a post on IG that was talking about like certain rule changes within SAG that they had in place where you can't have to get like 20, you have to have more than 24 hours notice before you do an audition or something like that. You don't have to be memorized or off book to do your auditions. Other thing, I was like, a business was like, thank you. Like the person who gave us the information, I was like very thankful for that. But the way my brain works, I was like, okay, so I'm still gonna memorize my lines anyway. So I must be some person off book.
Right.
More than likely.
Yeah.
There's just a different. Some people are really good at reading off papers. I'm not. I gotta memorize because I gotta
bring it in. You gotta bring it in.
Yeah. Now you get so good, I'm a good reader though, but all I'm saying is rules get broken no matter how you put them in place.
Yeah.
Because people find ways around these guidelines, these rules. So what are the things that are like automatic is I guess what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I was still attempting to figure out the best way to think about that because I don't want to be negative about it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I get that that's the structure, but how am I going to get around the system? I see what helps me, but I also read into the lines like, oh, you're not going to make me. I'm not saying that they're making us lazy.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is I got to put in a certain amount of work to maintain a particular amount of excellence.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they make rules and say, oh, you got to be excellent. I'm like, oh, no, that's fine. I'm staying excellent.
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea.
Yeah. That's good. I remember when Jay was training for soccer, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was summer. And I was looking at his workout, and I was like, this is a test.
Okay.
It can't be. This can't be the workout. It was like 50 push-ups, and it was like, boy, you about to play soccer.
Right.
Like you playing real college level,
Yeah.
this ain't it.
Right.
This is a test. I guarantee you this is a test. If I was a coach and I give you this, I'm trying to see if this is all you're going to be willing to do is do the bare minimum. Which is probably so they just started school today. But he was like, yeah, Dad, we were doing 3 a days. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I was telling you. Get out there in the sun, no problem. Do your runs every single day.
Yeah.
Because what they're going to get you to do is not this. Do this 3 times over. Because there's a difference between what everybody's trying to do, get the masses to do,
right,
and what excellence means.
Boom.
So, same thing, man.
Yeah, and that's what 50 is hitting up on in here. They had a whole bunch of, I forget what. Let's see. Your life must be a progression towards ownership.
Okay.
First, mentally of your independence, and then physically of your work owning what you produce.
That's good.
And then he had some steps. Yeah, step 1, reclaim their time. Step 2, create little empires.
Yep.
Step 3.
Move higher up the food chain.
Step 4. Make your enterprise a reflection of your individuality.
Yeah.
And boom. And then he ended that chapter with, hey man, they be finding these quotes.
That's true.
There's a time in every man's education when he arrives at the conviction that imitation is suicide.
Yeah.
That though the wide universe is full of good, no kernel of nourishing corn can come to him, but through his toil bestowed on that part of the ground which is given to him to till. The power which resides in him is new in nature, and none but he knows what that is which he can do, nor does he know until he is tried. Man, listening to that.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
But listening to that makes it excites me because I'm like, I am the only freaking me. I have a power that no one else
True.
knows how to activate but me.
That's good.
And I can't ask you, hey, how you activate my power? You like, try to activate your power.
Man, that's good. That's good. Think about that as a coach, man. I think about that a lot, and people want the answers,
Right.
and they're like, a lot is already within you.
Yeah.
So every good coach, every good mentor should be basically just activating, right?
Mhm.
They're activating something that's already within you, helping you realize, right?
Right.
The coaches that we probably had in high school, college, what have you,
Mm-hmm.
they were like, "This is what I'm seeing. I need you to see it."
Right.
Like, I can see it all day.
Right.
Until you see it about yourself, so you realize it in yourself, it doesn't work.
You know what? It irritates me. Keep going.
But what it also does, it makes you dependent. Because if I see it only, then I'm a source of your motivation. Right?
Right.
So now I'm codependent upon you to tell me, am I doing good?
Right.
Am I doing well?
Right.
Am I running fast enough?
Yep.
Is it going well? You know, like, you can't keep going in that much. And then you attach and you're meshed and it's like, oh man, you're not coaching much.
And that's why I like with stand up when you came Friday. I didn't say, hey, what you think? I see. Not that I care. Now, what I would like to know is like how they enhance certain things. That's what I would like. Yeah. And I would like to know what you liked and possibly disliked so I can work through. Yeah. But that's not one of the times where you now go into a critical discussion on, well, I mean.
You never do that when somebody comes off stage.
That's not wise.
You never. Not wise. Like, unless you really lauded it and all that good stuff. But even then, you just like let him stay in it because he ain't trying to hear. He gonna hear some of it. He ain't gonna hear everything.
Right.
Let him stay in it and let him. Because then I can say, man, that was killer. And then depending on where sometimes, and let's say if you're in a self-deprecating mode, you're like, man, I stepped away from the mic too long.
Yeah.
They're like, no, right here, stay here, stay here. I'm telling you, I'm giving you something good. And then you're like, but I could have gave about 7 more minutes. Like, what we talking about right now? You have a good set.
So everything in me not to break it.
Yeah.
But what I realized was it wasn't about that. It was about, I got on the stage.
That's the point.
That's all it matters. I got on the stage.
You stepped up.
Woo!
How many folks would have stepped up?
And that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. And those guys that I went up around, man, they were great.
Yeah, they
were really good.
Yeah,
I'm like, and so when I'm even on the stage with these guys, it's just like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I brought that up, man. I keep breaking stuff up and then running through. But because coaches would say, I could see you if you don't see it. I'm like, that I hear what they saying. And even for me, when I'm talking to people too, I'm like, I will tell them what I see though.
Yeah.
But you got to see it. I think for me, we have to be able to understand, gotta stay curious. You just got to stay curious and figure out this thing that you are. If you have still yet to find it, try something different. Or, because for me, it was my attitude. Coaches kept telling me and I never listened. That's what that was. Your attitude. You got to change your attitude. How'd you out, man?
Change your attitude.
Right.
Whoa. See.
That's the energy.
We're going to go ahead and move you down. In the lineup. You DH. You DH. You chilling.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Man.
All right, we got a little bit more time. We're going to close it out.
Yeah, so Ralph Waldo Emerson ends it in this. Ends. Oh no, they did already. So chapter 3 was turn to sugar,
Yeah.
which is opportunism.
Mhm.
Opportunism, and I know most people look at opportunism as like a negative for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, I only look at opportunism in the sense that you have a situation that you don't think you have any power in.
Mhm.
You actually do. That's the opportunity. Is to
Yeah.
take the other side of the situation. Now, it's funny that I say that because this is how chapter 3 starts. I have to way to do this. Uh, let's see. Every negative situation contains the possibility for something positive, an opportunity. It is how you look at it that matters. Your lack of resources can be an advantage, forcing you to be more inventive with the little that you have. Losing a battle can allow you to frame yourself as a sympathetic underdog. Do not let fears make you wait for a better moment or become conservative. If there are circumstances you cannot control, make the best of them. It is the ultimate alchemy to transform all such negative into advantages and power. And then said by, if one is continually wait, can I try right? I think I can do better. If one is continually surviving the worst that life can bring, one eventually ceases to be controlled by a fear
Yes.
of what life can bring.
Yes.
James Baldwin.
Yes.
I almost got him. He had that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and you know it's dry. Yeah. 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 But I pulled up the definition of opportunistic, and I remember when I was going through this part,
Mhm.
I was like, well, I think you can be a moral opportunist
Oh,
because you can go into a space where, in the space of opportunism, where it can lead to cheating, stealing,
oh,
and all that other stuff, right?
yeah.
But it's basically, if we go through it, it says an opportunity is someone who takes the advantage of every opportunity to gain money, power, and even unfair advantages. So I
Mhm.
think you got to figure out, you know, in the definition, it talks about it being that they disregard ethics. And so I was like, I think I try to make sure that I take on not necessarily every opportunity, and you all can understand that. Like we don't necessarily take on every opportunity, but when the opportunity comes, we can try to seize it,
Correct.
right? We want to seize the opportunities when they come. Um, you know, when they are, aligned, I would say, like,
Right.
what my values are, what my beliefs are. And so
Mm.
I will always want to make sure that I'm doing that it aligns with my values and my beliefs if I'm going to take on an opportunity.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So are you saying that folks that don't do that, is that what are you saying that
I'm saying that, what if you, as you read that part, you just kind of, it can be a point where you may have some conflicts as you read it. And I think I did. And I was like,
ethically speaking?
ethically speaking, ethically speaking, yeah.
Right.
So I just like,
Yeah, because they're coming from that realist point of view, right? That point of view that, hey, there are some mean people, and sometimes you might have to do mean things to mean people.
I hear that, yeah.
That's it's more of a cold, calculated type of
Mm-hmm.
strategy,
Mm-hmm.
if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone is not, I don't want to say capable, but it may not be for everyone to do.
Right.
Because I know what you mean.
Yeah.
There's certain things where I'm just like, I don't know if I would do that. But hey, it is what it is. Like, I think that this is one of the chapters where I could be, man, I should probably check. But they talk about when 50, after he got locked up, he came back out and he was attempting to make some more money. And he met someone at the facility that he was locked up in, and they were part of a robbing crew. So ultimately, what he did was the block that he was on, he got them all robbed by that robbing crew.
Mm-hmm.
So he was robbed as well. So, so that later on he could use the money that they got to go get his own drugs and go to his own block and or whatnot. Morally speaking, that's kind of up if we're afraid and that you get us robbed. You know what I'm saying?
However diabolically brilliant it was because he robbed his own self, to actually keep the guys I'm in the same boat.
Right.
I'm in the same boat. We got to get them. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Y'all got hit too? Because if I got hit, if y'all got hit and I didn't get hit, I'm looking suspicious.
Right.
So
Right. And that's what I'm saying. It's very strategic.
yeah, very great.
And so from a ethics standpoint, it's like, man, you want a friend like that? Or yo, like, cop.
Yeah.
And that's a question. To
Mhm.
be aligned with someone who is strategic. So I mean, you must have to be
She
strategic.
says, you say you got to keep a goon. But you got to keep somebody. You got, somebody said that Jesus had a goon.
Who that have been Peter?
That was in Peter. And supposedly he was like, "Listen, man, hey,
Right.
you ain't gonna come."
And that's why it was so hard when he denied him 3 times.
Yeah,
Like, no, man,
nah, fam.
not the real dude.
Yeah, but you gotta, you may have to keep your goon in the crew. We got some goons here.
I'm gonna read what's at the end of the chapter.
Cool.
Without doubt,
Yeah.
princes become great when they overcome difficulties and hurdles put in their path.
For sure.
When fortune wants to advance a new prince, she creates enemies for him, making them launch campaigns against him so that he is compelled to overcome them and climb higher on that ladder that they have brought him.
Yep.
Therefore, many judge that a wise prince must skillfully fan some enmity whenever the opportunity arises, so that in crushing it, he will increase his standing.
Oh,
Of course,
that is crazy.
Niccolo Machiavelli.
Yeah, absolutely. That's in The Prince, by the way.
Yes.
That makes sense. I remember us debating this a long time ago. But I was like, it's kind of brilliant, though.
It's
You gotta stir it up because people, people. I don't know. One, people get complacent. They get, it's like sometimes we want disturbance,
right.
right? And you need that disturbance. So again, you need the challenge. You need the, stir the pot a little bit so that you can, so that you can settle it.
Yeah. Right.
People don't necessarily know that you're stir pot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on controversy right now. And I was like, it's got to be strategic.
What's like? You want to give an example? Or?
All right. So this is, no, I won't get an example. There's some other stuff that's happening. I was like, man, somebody's about to launch a new tour. It's a good time to do it. Right here. Also, 50 used to do that.
You got us toured now.
50 used to do this all the time, though. If you notice, like 50 will used to like have social media campaigns against people. Now was just roasting folks.
Yeah.
I remember. I'm trying to remember who it was, but he went after somebody, and they never responded. He said he contacted them a little bit later. He's like, "Why didn't you respond?" He's like, "Because you pay no attention to that."
Right.
He's like, "Well, that was your moment, dude. You're supposed to use that to." Bring yourself into the line, get a headline, do it. Like, I'm okay. He was like, I'm totally okay with you hitting me back with it, and saying whatever you need to say.
Wow.
But he was setting him up to actually to rise a little bit where we thought he needed, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's just part of the game. Like, how do you choose to respond? Because I think 50 got into it, because he wins most of his little strategy wars.
And they are hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, I think the only one that I think he kind of didn't, kind of think about that Rick Ross thing. I think he ended up having to pay the baby mama or the wife to make
really
the sex tape.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was probably about it. But I think claimed bankruptcy. And then, he had his money somewhere else, Switzerland or
He said,
this no, man.
He said, I don't have any money.
Right. So I'm a file.
So he said, I don't have any money. This ain't real. This ain't even in my name. Like that whole case was like, what? This is okay. Anyway, Hey, look, again, we are reading, that was the first first couple of parts of the
First two chapters.
first 2 chapters of the 50th Law by Robert Greene. He said, this is As a Man Readeth.
I'm Goolsby.
And this is Trey D. We hope that you continue to read along with us, like, subscribe, and share your thoughts, and with other people, of course.
Just put it below. Got any questions, comments, concerns, all that stuff.
All that good stuff.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you very, very soon.
I can go back to read.
Be well.
Read a book.